Richard's flexing his guns because it's time for your political maniacs.
I have no guns.
Richard has no guns. He is anti-gun.
I bear no arms.
Richard is pro-gun control. No, he's pro-gun safety.
It's gun safety.
It's not control. We don't want your guns. We just want you to...
We want them to be safer.
We just want you to not let your 4-year-old shoot you with them.
Exactly.
Seems like a no-brainer. I mean, that would be a great political maniac, but I feel like that story's been talked to
What, the
death.
gun safety versus gun control?
No. So there was a woman who basically operated this Facebook page that like posted pro-gun memes and Facebook pictures and shared them, and she had a pretty big following. And just this week, while she was driving, her 4-year-old got a hold of her gun in her car and shot her through the back while she was driving.
Ooh.
She didn't die, but she's in critical condition. And, that's the problem right there.
Critical condition for being a maniac.
And, like one of the pictures that she posted and shared on Facebook was something like, your fear of me owning a gun doesn't trump my ability to save my children with my gun, or something like that.
Some saving your kids.
Yeah.
Anyway, who's tonight's
scarred your
maniac?
child for life by shooting.
And scarred yourself, literally.
Literally.
And
Ooh, okay. Political Maniacs, here's how it works. On the 20s of each hour, we will tell you the craziest moments that have happened this week in politics. Your assignment, if you choose to accept it, listen to them. Tweet us at Fowler Show. Let us know who the maniac of the week is.
Here in my heart.
That's right.
Memory I've started but can't complete.
All right, so tonight we are doing a deep dive with Paul Krugman into why the GOP establishment darling Marco Water Bottle Rubio is actually
really I guess
fringe.
he is the establishment darling, but he's a failed candidate.
At this point, he would be classified as a failed candidate. He's officially crossed over.
Candidate.
Now, we can talk about later in the segment whether you think he should drop out.
Yes. Well, no.
So we'll talk about that.
Entertainment going, little Marco.
Yeah. Little Marco. Okay, so Paul Krugman shared in his regular Monday column his opinion about where Marco Rubio stands in terms of his economic policy. And now, when you think of like the establishment candidate, you have to realize that Marco Rubio is in fact still insane, and his economic policies are borderline nonsensical. So one of the biggest things that Marco Rubio has said in his policy is his opinion on capital gains tax. Now, we know that capital gains tax is a tax that is levied on people who are investors.
Millionaires and billionaires.
Millionaires and billionaires who are trickling us down. They're going to give us their little trickle-down money. So basically, capital gains tax means that when you make money on an investment, like, let's say you put 100 shares of Apple at $100 a share, and those shares go up 200%. That means that you basically made a profit on those shares.
Profit.
You do not have to pay taxes on that income under Marco Rubio's proposed plan. Now, right now, our capital gains tax rate is significantly lower than what most Americans, including people that are making the minimum wage, are paying.
It's almost zero.
It's basically zero.
It's almost zero.
And not to mention, obviously, the people that are benefiting from this tax have very good accountants, which can get their effective tax rate even lower. So Marco Rubio wants to change the already very favorable capital gains tax from whatever it is, I think it's around 10%, something like that, down to zero.
That's insane. Now, my effective tax rate, which I just did my taxes, I know is 25%.
Mine was 29.
Damn, you pay more taxes than me?
Not because I make more money than you. I just did a bad job of doing write-offs this year.
Gotta write it off.
Yeah. Well, that's what my current effective tax rate. 29 is bad. I wanted to be at 25.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. It's like secretaries are paying like 35 with no write-offs.
Yep. Well,
I just I read the code and, plan out my year.
Does a little bit. Well, see, you're the problem, Richard.
I'm not the problem.
I'm just kidding.
I use the law to my benefit. Now, don't
so
get me
do
wrong.
these people. That's why we need to make the
here's
law
the thing.
more.
I'm not mad about paying 25%.
It's your fair share. I think it's appropriate. We benefit from it.
That's what I take the metro from here and there every now and then, right? Like I drive ride my bike on the bike path.
Oh, listen, I think taxes are great. And listen, the idea that like people shouldn't have to pay taxes and that we should somehow lower them is insane. If you are complaining about your taxes, especially if you're very rich, you need to remember that you already used up the money. The taxes you're paying back. right? When you didn't die when you drank a glass of water today, when you drove to work on safe roads, that is your tax dollars at work. I went to public school. Where do you think that money went? I'm paying back.
Money you've already spent.
Exactly. And people don't remember that. They think that taxes are just this magical thing.
I mean, this is a random story. It's a random aside. So when, like, I think a couple years ago when, like, the Tea Party was just created, they had, like, a Tea Party rally here, and I don't know where I was going with some friends, and we saw some Tea Party people. So I decided to ask them, and I'm like, we want lower taxes. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, well, what is it that you want? And they're like, we want to lower our tax rate. Federal government's taking all our money. And so I asked questions. I'm like, how'd you get here today? Well, we drove in 95. And I'm like, it's paid for by your tax dollars, right? Yeah, but did you go to Smithsonian? Yeah, we did go to Smithsonian. It was great.
That's
and I'm
great.
like, that's paid for by tax dollars. Oh, and you take the Metro today? Yeah. That's your tax dollars at work. So you can't be, I'm anti-tax and then use the tax, use the system to benefit yourself, right? It's like, oh, my kids I live in the suburbs, so my kids go to great public schools, but I don't want to pay any taxes.
My tax rate should be 10%. It's insane. I mean, and you can make the argument that, and probably the biggest, most egregious place that we spend tax dollars inappropriately is the military.
Defense Department.
Yep, the military-industrial complex. We are wasting money left and right, but the Republicans would never dare to say. Except I think your Rand Paul might say that.
Rand Paul, no, Donald Trump has said it.
Well, he's not really. He's not establishment.
When congressmen are basically forcing the Defense Department, and we've talked about this on the show before, like a congressman, because they manufactured this particular plane in his district.
Yep.
He was like, well, I'm going to force the Defense Department to keep this plane. And the Defense Department's like, well, when we get this plane, we're just going to park it somewhere.
Yep.
That's $80 billion just parked because we don't need it. That's a problem.
That money could end homelessness permanently in the United States, and we spend it on these fighter jets that
they, like the Army says, these jets don't work. We don't use them. Please stop sending them to us.
We are not going to use them because they are non-functional.
And we still make them and they just sit there.
Right.
Defense spending, and it's not. So I'm not even talking about the armored vehicles and the bulletproof vests that our people actually need. Right. I'm talking about all the fraud, waste, and abuse when congressmen pork out or force the Defense Department to spend money on a plane that America,
Yep.
if they got rid of this plane and they just divided this money equally amongst all of Americans,
we'd be doing pretty great.
We would all get like a $5,000 check. No, more than that, because it's $80 billion.
It's it's $80 billion.
So we get like $100,000 each.
Oh yeah, we would be doing great if it weren't for this plane. So this idea that we're actually tight on money.
So
is
Marco Rubio
farce.
and all these people with their crazy tax plans. Ted Cruz wants you could do your taxes on a note card, but we're going to fund the Pentagon from here to high hell. It's just stupid. And here's the thing: we're giving all this money to the Pentagon, yet still we're being hacked by China. So clearly, that random ass plane that you're building in that random ass congressional district is not helping our national security.
No, but Rick,
bye.
Don't say that.
Bye,
Felicia. You're not American.
Bye,
you don't
Felicia.
support our huge military.
I believe in the military. I believe in our troops. And here's the other thing that irks me is oh yeah, we care about our troops and we care about the Defense Department, but we don't even fund the Veterans Department. Yep. So we could send them to war.
Hypocrisy.
We can send them to war and we can carpet bomb ISIS and all this other crap. But the moment these guys come home and these men and women come home, we can give two craps about them.
Yeah, we're like,
their whole lives are tied up
Taco Bell
and red tape. So, bye, Felicia. Okay, to all these Republicans and the sacred cow of defense spending, because it's stupid. It's stupid. It's stupid. And this is where I agree with Donald Trump. When Donald Trump says it's crazy that we live in America and you go to China and you look at the airport, and you go to Dubai, you look at the airport. And when you land in New York City, one of the biggest cities on earth, you land at LaGuardia and you feel like you're in Port-au-Prince, Haiti.